everybody. Listen, I keep watching all this about California, like most people, and I've been watching California well over a year and watching videos that I can't find anymore. I can't even find the channels anymore of Californians. They've been wiped out. Um, so I'm taking it there's a blackout of information from the public speaking about what's happening. Uh, and that tells me that this is so orchestrated. I don't know about you, but when my government organizes a coup and creates a disaster the size of California's without having any care who was going to die, who was going to lose what. They were Newsom depending on that disaster relief. So I say Americans need to speak up and say not one dime can go to California in donations from the federal government until Newsom has been arrested for his crimes. Arson and murder are what he committed through his negligence, if anything else. Although the timing was just so perfect. I mean, the day the mayor leaves, all of a sudden, there's nobody watching over the city. Newsom's playing with his hair gel and begging for money. So, yeah, and he got denied. I mean, it's so simple to see the timing of all of this. But why aren't Americans being allowed to talk about it? I know my signal's got to be terrible right now. I'm really sorry. But YouTube is doing everything to squash the voice of people. I want to hear from the Californians themselves. I want to hear from them. I don't want to hear from the rich. I don't want to hear from the government at all. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. And it's a bad one. And we have to watch all these innocent people suffer through these blazes, their lives being threatened. No, I'm sorry, California. I do not hold the citizens of California accountable for what Newsom and his mayors have done. And I don't want to hear any more Mel Gibson. Oh, I lost my multi-million dollar loss. It was such a loss. Oh, I don't want to hear it. Not at all. Not at all. Well, hi, cordial. We would be in cuffs and looking at going to jail for several lifetimes. And I don't know how I can absorb this from my government. And they're saying, well, maybe if, he promises not to do it again. What? Have you lost your mind? He just overdosed. He promises not to do it again. That's Newsom. Governor Newsom is not addicted to drugs. He's addicted to money. That's why so much of it missing from his government's audits. 36 million missing for homeless people. And I'm telling you, this is just irresponsible. And he's still walking around on social media, all over the big news networks. Oh no, it's not my fault that we got the funding. It's not my fault that we had no water because I sold it. It's not my fault. I'm so sick of hearing Gavin claim everything else is at fault but him. Enough. If I don't see that man in cuffs in 24 hours, I have no trust in any of my government leaders as it stands. And that fake website for donations that takes you directly to his campaign website, not the catastrophe, not the disaster. It takes you to his campaign website. How many people have already donated to his campaign and didn't realize that's what they were doing? Because any donation that went through those links and that DNC link is fraudulent. They're taking 35% of that to go to the Democratic Party. Are you people really going to give money to these people who just devastated a whole state? They burned it to the ground. And they're still trying to scam Californians out of their money and scam anybody else in the U.S. out of theirs by fake links to campaign donations, not to donations to disaster relief. Very little is going to disaster relief. And it's got to stop. This cannot continue. And until Californians stand up and demand that he be arrested on site, along with that mayor, and held, all their assets frozen, just like what would happen to an American citizen who has committed a crime. Forfeiture law has gone crazy, taking away our property we worked for. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My hearts and my prayers are for the Angelinitonians, or however, for the people of California. I don't care your gender. I do care that you're safe. I don't care your politics. I do care that you get what you need. And Gavin Newsom is interfering with that. And somebody has to stop it. They're acting like the water vanished out into the ocean. That was the first excuse of why the reservoirs were empty. But I can tell you, over the last year, I watched so many Californians recording tankers pumping out groundwater and taking it out of the state. That's why the reservoirs are empty, but nobody will talk about that. And those people those videos I saw, their channels are gone. They've been removed. So they're trying desperately to squash this story. And I can tell you right now, Americans, don't let these people in California down. Don't give until he's in custody and his assets frozen. And audit after audit of every personal document and every business document needs to be compared. And you'll find every penny. You'll find every penny. White people are not screaming at the top of their lungs, and they're letting this man all over social media. Give me money, I didn't do this. I didn't. You had the largest homeless population in the United States, California. Most of those poor people are immigrants who came here thinking they were going to find freedom, and they found hell, unlike what they knew in their homeland. And nobody even bothered to tell these people there's no jobs. The jobs they used to hold that made them so vital to our economy, they have automated. Those jobs are gone. And the farms that haven't gone automated, they're closing them down. Why isn't this being talked about? Hello, I'm sorry. This makes me more than angry. This makes me ashamed that I allowed my government to go so unrestrained, that I allowed my government to devastate through legislation, legally devastate an entire state. And there are 4 other states that have been destroyed. And none of that, I'm sorry, I've never seen a hurricane do like that. And I've been watching the weather for at least 50 years. Helene was no normal natural hurricane. No hurricane goes up on land and holds its strength. It dissipates, then comes back off land, builds back up, and goes around again. That's man-made. To go along the same exact track, that's man-made. And I'm sick of the government doing this. They don't care that they're starving people. They don't care they're burning down people's homes. They're just going to scream, well, give us disaster relief. And all the disaster relief that went to 4 other states from people like you and me was stolen from those people. Stolen from them. And most of the housing is still sitting in Michigan, where Cartel Kamala sent it. It's still sitting there. They wanted to bring it to Cali, and they're still hoping to. Not one of those houses, not one of those trailers belongs to Cali. They all belong to North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. Man-made devastation is one thing. Blaming global warming, which is a crock, and I've been saying it for years, but nobody would listen. Oh no, it's to save the planet. What's been saved by these fires? What's been saved by the removal of all the groundwater? What's been saved? Tell me. Because those people will tell you they lost everything. Nothing was saved. And they'd be exactly right. And now they're just going to be more Helene victims, only this one should be named Fire Hurricane Gavin. Because that's what these people have been subjected to. I don't care if you came from another country. If you were in my country and government did this, which I know it did, that same day those fires were started, I was watching one of my channels, and they were reporting on the immigration, and they were reporting about the gang problems and the housing, and just walking around interviewing people that same day. And there were thousands of people in that area where the fire started and swept through first. So I know the numbers they're reporting in the media that are of the dead, that's a lie. That's like them spouting our job, we got jobs. Nobody's got jobs. I see a lot of fake pretend businesses pretending to hire, but they're not hiring anybody, and they're laying off hundreds of thousands. So now they're going to count on the poor to migrate out of California and spread around the United States and hope they survive, because that's all they've got. They've lost everything. People can tell me, oh, you're harsh because you say don't give any money to California. No, I'm not saying don't give money to California. I'm saying don't give it to the Democrats or for their campaigns or Governor Newsom, who caused this very problem all on his own. He knew the weather forecasts. He knew it. And it's just too coincidental that 4 fires began at one time and then one fire began a little later. That's too much. I don't believe in that much coincidence. Me bumping into you after years and still looking the same, that's a coincidence. Me bumping into you after years and you look younger, that's plastic surgery. Okay? So, care about these people. Don't care about their government right at this moment. Let that government crash and burn. Just get those people out of the way. How many people were endangered by fire? How many? Because all I see is rich people were devastated by the fire. Newsom, rich people, government. But what about all the other people? Where are they? Did they just, boom, vanish? Because all the looting has been a few illegal immigrants, firemen, and cops. That's all I've seen on national news about this. So who's doing all the looting if they're not there? What's this? I don't even want to say it. I can't say it. I cannot believe a governor would commit such a large act of treason and attack his own state and then beg money. Those people will never see. American Granny out.